obviously isn't remembering things. But yeah, my name is Sky. I was sick most of my life. I healed myself with raw foods. I grab coconut waters at the moment and jump on here and share part of my journey or what's going on. It's like a story time, right? Um, it helps me and hopefully it helps other people heal. I mean, I've had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed. I had full-time carers. I was on disability payments and I found a raw food lifestyle and I got well. And I come on here and I share. And I wanted to talk about my memory tonight because my memory I lost when I was near death, and that was in 2017, and nobody thought I was going to make it. And I had been sick most of my life beforehand. I've lost organs, my stomach, my duodenum. My blood work was terrible. I had POTS. I was dizzy. I couldn't stand up. I was coming off a whole lot of medications, and all of a sudden I woke up one day and I could barely remember my name. It was almost like being in a completely different reality when I dissociated. It's like psychiatric for sure because it was trauma related, but to not remember my name, my address, and I had been in a bedroom for 15 years. Before that, I've spent a lot of my life in a bed, but I'd been so sick that I hadn't left my room besides to go to hospitals or doctors. Or I think I went to a couple weddings of friends, but I was very medicated to get there because I was in so much pain and so sick. And my first experience after being through all that was being in a psychiatric unit. And hello, that was a horrible experience. No one should go through what I went through first off, and no one's first experience after 15 years in a bedroom, I think it was 15, maybe 12, about 12, 13, should be a psychiatric unit. Yes, this is live. Hey! Um, so I'm talking about how I lost my memory and I dissociated. I stopped talking. I was in a bed for many years because I was sick or hospitals, had lots of surgeries. And then one day it was like being in a different reality and I just could not connect. I could not talk. There's different diagnoses that have gone around, dissociation, you can get locked in syndrome. But then I was put in a psychiatric unit and that was crazy. That was scary. Those places are so scary. And they ask you things like your name and things about you, and I really couldn't recall much about myself, which was very, very scary. And why I'm bringing this up now is because the more raw foods that I do, the more I think my body feels safe for me and my memories to come back, which is overwhelming. I didn't cry. Maybe I've cried, but not really much at all, considering I've missed most of my life. Um, so yes, so my memory's coming back now. It's overwhelming as it comes back, and a lot of it was so. When I was in the psychiatric unit, I've had plenty of psych issues until I started eating the raw foods. And even when I first started eating the raw foods, all my physical symptoms went, but it took 4 years for me to start having these massive flashbacks. Um, Back when I lost it, I knew I was different to, like, you'd see photos, someone would show you photos of yourself, and I knew I was different now, completely different. And all I wanted to do was be sick me. All I wanted to do is like Stockholm syndrome, right? I wanted to be me who was in a room or in a hospital or sick because that's all I knew. If you've been sick from when you're 8 and then I was sick for 3 years and then I got well and then you're sick again from when you're 16 up until when you end up in the floor of a psychiatric unit at 36, you want to be that person again, but I couldn't remember who that was. And I remembered not speaking to family members, and a lot of, even though that year I was doing a lot better once I lost my memory, and a lot of people do better when you don't recall your trauma. So I studied psychology, interestingly enough, people will lose their memory due to trauma and they actually succeed better in life because our fears and our past holds us back more than we know. So, so hey, New Zealand. So how it happened was I was sick for 32 years of my life. I had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed, including my stomach is missing, my duodenum's missing, and I've been through so much trauma. And I was only 37 kilograms. I'm 5'7", and my blood work was terrible. I was in ICU all the time. I couldn't stand up. They thought I was going to die, and instead of dying, I dissociated, and just couldn't recall things, and I wouldn't talk, and they didn't know what to do. And they put me in a psychiatric unit, and it was horrible. But anyway, I'm talking about when I got out, and I'm living, but at a very basic level. And then I got something called FND, which is called a functional neurological disorder, where I couldn't walk or talk, and I was flopped over like a shell shock victim. And they didn't know what to do. And then I went missing in the bush. I actually ran away in the bush. Well, couldn't get very far, but I hid in the bush. And after that, I was in a psych hospital for the next 2 years, all different diagnoses. And when I came out, I literally I ended up an alcoholic for about 3 months. My liver failed. And then I found the raw foods, and all my physical symptoms, all the FND and a lot of the depression went. But I still, most of the time, couldn't remember what had happened to me. It is crazy. It's beyond crazy. If somebody actually told me that having all of these surgeries and stuff wasn't the worst part. The worst part is not knowing who you are and being dissociated. If you lose your mind, mental health is so important. You've lost yourself. That's what happened. It's bad enough I went through all of this, and then I lost me. And so I'm very, very grateful that I'm coming back online now, but it's so strong. I forgot what it felt like to be me. For the past 4 years, I've been eating a raw food diet. I got well really quickly eating the raw foods. All my physical ailments went, but it took about 3.5 years until I was actually walking down the street one day, and all of these memories with feelings and emotions would come back. And I forgot that that's what a memory is like. It's so an example, if someone wants to know what it's like to get your memory back, because I had no idea how much of it I'd lost, is so something would come. If somebody said to me, did you lose your stomach? I'd say, yes, I lost my stomach, very robotically. What school did you go to? And I could say the school. Someone could say, what was your formal like? And I'd say, good, and I wore a gold dress. When your memory starts coming back with emotions attached, you go, oh, I remember. That's right, that night, and oh my God, we had so much fun. Or it could be a negative experience, but there's such an emotional component attached to memories, and my memories weren't coming through, and the emotions were completely gone. There was no emotions. At least you didn't forget you lost your memory. The one thing you remember is losing it. Yeah, no, I kind of didn't know what I was missing. I knew I was missing myself. That's all I did, because I remember being really switched on, really articulate, would concentrate. I couldn't concentrate on anything for years. Only recently having a higher omega-3 diet has really helped. I literally zone in, and I'm like, whoo, oh my God, I didn't realize that you could disappear off the planet into your concentration. Until you lose something, you really don't appreciate it. You literally don't appreciate it. The most I appreciated something in my life was after I'd been homeless, and my family, I wasn't connected to my family, and someone helped me get an apartment, okay? And when I was younger, I went to a private school. Grew up on the water. My family was well off. But I have boyfriends. I want designer bags, all this type of stuff, right? But the happiest and most grateful I've ever been was when I finally got a roof over my head. I still wasn't well, but until you lose something, you can't appreciate it. So I feel like the universe makes me lose everything so that now I appreciate everything, and then I get on here and share it so that if anyone else is going through something, raw foods really helps nature. Oh my God, I remember even when you're in, whether it's a psych unit or sleeping out on the street, is the safest place was always wherever the sun and the moon and plants were. It was the only thing that felt real. I lost all my emotions, and there, when all humanity was gone, damn, what an experience. I'm so sorry you went through that. I hope you learnt something. I bet you were fun, though. I don't know what that means. Hey. Insanity is crazy. Someone was actually a psychic. I went to a psychic, which was nice experience because everything I'm working towards apparently is coming my way. But I was telling him, like, the thing that I don't understand the most, I believe in my future, I'm blessed whatever I get, is why did this happen to me? Why did I literally go into a different reality? And like, you can put it at psychiatric, it's spiritual, it's consciousness, it's, people trip out and they come back and their brain is rewired. Is it something which is just this physical craziness, or does it actually impact a person? And I believe there's multiple layers of reality around us, and when you dissociate, it's like seeing things you were not meant to see. Like, I'm happier. I'm like, give me earth, give me like reality, boring old reality any day over the things that are there, and people can call them, like, I don't know. It's Jesus is always close. It doesn't count when you are lost. That's true, but I believe in Christ consciousness. So I believe that consciousness is something that me as a human cannot even comprehend. And now that I'm well, I'm looking after myself and I live in self-love, is I would love to emulate at some level how he walked his path in selflessness, and also in the lessons he had to teach. And I feel like that's what I want to emulate, like that consciousness. But it's like up there. You learn a lot going through hell. This is it. I always bring this up. Ed Sheeran says he doesn't learn anything winning a Grammy. He learns it all when he loses a business partner, when he stuttered as a kid, and he had to learn to do music to stop stuttering. And that's what all the greatness comes from, the dark, right? So that's why I share it. So people as well aren't afraid of the dark. Because if you can survive your worst nightmares, and I feel I did, is then when everything's good and you're in the light, you can be even more grateful. So, um, uh, wait till you find out you're dreaming this. Well, that's kind of what it's like, right? Um, it doesn't count. That's what it's like, right? If your dream, is it a dream or reality? Or like, and even when you don't sleep, like I didn't sleep when I'd go through this for 3 months at a time. I would black out at night, and only because they gave me Seroquel. And then the dream was like stepping out of my body into this other reality for a period, and then coming back in. There's nothing, I studied psychology, nothing prepares you for that sort of stuff. And it's very different, like anxiety and depression, which I've suffered from. And well, PTSD is in that dissociative realm because you're reliving things and not present. So it's like crazy town. Some people ask some weird things. That's why I wear shades. Look, I guess I'm telling this because it's coming back now, and I find once you can get your body, and I use raw foods, I use grounding, I use exercise, I don't overstimulate my system. And once your body feels safe, right? When it feels safe, things start to come back. Like nothing was coming back. When you've been through what I'd been through, even before you dissociate and lose so much of your memory to trauma, is how does a body or a human get to feel safe again? And it's not as simple as, like, I don't know, a security blanket and some Valium. Like I think that would have been the worst thing. I had to get off all of any medications and just do everything really natural because I felt so chained in when I was sick. Everything that I went through in life relied on a surgeon, a doctor, another doctor, a doctor that referred you to a physio or another doctor. And you can't trust in yourself when that's your process. And so that was really important for me to only trust in what I had access to full time, and that is nature. Like when I trusted in something like that, and I ate raw foods, and when I got stressed, I would go and sit outside or jump in the ocean, it's always there. It's like well, it's God, it's source, it's creation, right? And I felt like most of my life I was trapped. You get trapped. Like they're like, here's a pill. No, we're taking the pill away. We're going to add this pill. We're going to give you this surgery, and you lose control. And until I felt safe is when I feel like my memory came back. So did ketamine help with the dissociation? So I was on ketamine for pain in a cardiac unit because you can have a heart attack. So I had chronic pain. I had a second piece of uterus attached to nerves and ligaments in my spine. They named it endostromatosis. They hadn't seen it before, and they took it out. The pain didn't go. They missed a bit. My stomach came out because of all the medication and stress. My duodenum came out. They gave me a full hysterectomy for this. That took the pain away, but my body was like shutting down. But they did put me on ketamine when I was already on a fentanyl patch. I was already on massive doses of OxyContin breakthrough, SSRIs for the pain, Valium for the pain, stomach medication, hormone medication, and then ketamine. A Botox in the spine, local anesthetic in the spine, plus all the surgeries I was having. So I don't know, ketamine made me feel like I was floating in clouds. Like that's what I recall. But when I was in the clouds, I couldn't feel any pain. But then that was the bolus they gave me. So a bolus is they inject you with a massive dose before they give you an infusion that's constant. And they do that to give your body a break from the opioids that they had me on. So they did that, and I literally felt like I floated off the bed up into above the bed, and everyone that was talking was down below. The doctors, the cardiac doctor, my mum. So that's my experience on ketamine. Um, have you heard of ancestral supplements? No, but I work with an amazing spiritual healer who has literally helped me unlock so much in my life. And the processing that goes on after working with her is incredible. You have experienced the pain. I have experienced a lot of pain. A lot of pain. It says cool down is an actual great thing, like chill with less heat. It's very fitting word-wise. I never connected it till now. Magic mushrooms. Well, see, I was talking about I have never done magic mushrooms. I know plenty of people who have, but I saw one of the psychiatrists, I think, talking about how I think it was a neuropsychiatrist, was talking about how they thought people would take mushrooms, and when they did MRIs, I think they injected. I don't know. I think it was an MRI. They expected the brain to light. No, maybe it was a PET scan, positron emission tomography. Anyway, they injected these people with like something so they could read the neural connections in their brain. They expected people to take mushrooms, and the whole network light up, right? The whole network in the top part of the brain calmed down, went all quiet. And then all connections to places that don't usually talk started to occur. And this didn't stop when the mushrooms wore off. So there is something definitely magical about mushrooms, right? It's fascinating. So, oh, thank you, John Doe. Sounds like you've overcome a lot. I have, and that's what motivates me to get on here. Well, I share my story, it helps me, and hopefully it inspires somebody else that you can get through hell, especially when you don't sleep. I don't know if you're in a dream or you're not awake, and then next minute you're in hospital in a psych unit again, and then they're injecting you and you're saying stop because it's making me worse, so they inject you with something else. And that's another thing that motivated me to get well, is that, as I was saying, when other people constantly control you, and in a psych hospital you have no rights. Like literally you could lose a tooth and you just be left on the floor. It's that, like, even people who've been to jail who are in the psych unit are like, this is worse than in there. Well, at least we had rights. Isn't ketamine dissociative itself? Well, yes, when I had it, it was. Well, that's when you hit a K-hole, right? I guess that's what they put me into for pain. I'm not exactly sure. Here we go. I have my computer here. I can tell you. Because different drugs for different uses, right? But I know a lot of people, it's a horse tranquilizer originally, right? Which things start, oh, I think my computer's dead. Maybe we're not getting any information tonight. I'll have to do a follow-up on that one. I am happy. How can I not be happy when you've been through as much as I have, and now all this beautiful raw foods and hydration is in my system, and I'm away on a holiday at the moment, and I'm outside in the sun, and I go for walks, and I get to feel the ground. I'm not in a bed, I'm not hospitals, and so I am very happy. Live, laugh, love. That's perfect. I love that. Are you a recovering drug addict? Well, the funny thing was, because you've heard what I was on, the fentanyl, and when I was in hospital, so morphine and pethidine and massive dose of OxyContin. If you know OxyContin, like you break a limb and they might give you 5 milligram tablets. I was taking 5 of the 80 milligrams when I woke up. Then within 2 hours, another 60 milligrams. And within 3 hours, another 60 milligrams. I was on massive doses. The pain in my back was uncontrollable. And then I'd be in hospital as well. And the doctor would say to my mum, is because Sky isn't using it, Sky being me, for numbing herself, she's literally in physical pain every time she asks for it, she won't become addicted. Do you know, I did drink and I do struggle, like recently been a bit triggered by that. It was only for 3 months, then my liver failed. But the thing I struggle with most is coffee. Like you can hear, I was on massive doses of painkillers. I vaped, I smoked, I went raw vegan, and the hardest thing to kick was coffee. And the one thing I've gone back to had been coffee a couple times, because coffee's always with us, whether I'm studying at university or whether I'm in a psych unit or whether I'm in a unit to have some sort of surgery done. There's coffee. My greatest traumas, my greatest loves, my studying at school, it's never not with you. Like, when do you not get up in the morning and not have coffee? Yes, I've been on, I went through a stage of drinking, but most of the time when I was in pain, I never drank. I was on stimulants as well for ADHD. But being off that and finally getting concentration back by having like that high amount of omega-3 fatty acids, which I keep talking about from the chia and flax, and I keep getting these concentration like black holes that I go into, and I'm like, whoa, I just did all this work in this like concentration. I've never had it, but that's a lot of work. A lot of like self-love, a lot of the raw foods, that's really helped there. But yeah, in addiction wise, is I struggle most with caffeine. I don't even know whether that's a bad thing. I have matcha, that's got caffeine in it, but like the truth is, like, it took me 9 goes to quit coffee. I quit smoking, drinking, didn't go back to painkillers, and I've been on painkillers again for a tooth surgery and broken toe. Didn't want them. All they do is constipate you. They make you constipated and dopey. It's not very nice. Um, I really recommend ancestral supplements for healing of the mind and body there. Oh, see, I'm vegan, so I won't be having any organs. Um, any advice on tennis elbow? Yes, lower the inflammation in your body. I have seen every disease under the sun be cured, including Dr. Morse has even got some people with paraplegia whose nerves have been severed getting movement again. Because it's like drinking or eating electricity. Eating the food we're supposed to eat, it really, really helps. Also omega-3s. There's a whole range of you're just basically eating nutrients. So it really, really helps lower inflammation. Because you get, as you age, I don't know how old you are, Alex, but with tennis elbow, so when you're younger and you get an injury, is the body will and can heal, and it can flare up and it can come down. But as you get older, it's like everything grates. It just gets worse. And then it's not the elbow. You forget about the elbow because your ankle's gone now and your knee's gone. You need a knee replacement. And then when you go on raw foods, you forget that you actually had, I'm not saying this is not pointing anyone out here, but you forget you had all of these other things because there's big things you want to heal, and then you get to this point where you're like, oh my god, that's right, it started with like one thing. It like you, there's no way, it's almost unheard of that someone is as sick as me and gets well. And that's not just because of the physical aspect, it's more the psychological aspect. Is what keeps people where they are is their memory, is the fact that you live as a sick, if just say someone like me who got sick when they were 8. I had a few years where I did well, but then when I was 16 to when I was 40, I was severely sick. So my whole brain has been trained to behaviorally be sick, and that's the struggle. I mean, I lost most of my memory, so I was at a win there. And that's why people who lose their memory, usually it's the studies that have been done on people who lose their memory, actually like brain injuries that they can quantify. And they do better because they're not trapped. They're not reliving a trauma. And people who don't remember the trauma, just say somebody, I don't know, had an accident of some type, the ones who don't remember do better. Trauma traps us. But a huge reason people don't get sick is if you, for 20 years, you've been somebody who's been on, like I was on disability payments, and had carers, and that's all my world knew, is you end up defaulting back somehow. And that's the hard part about breaking free. It's called the poverty trap, where the poverty trap essentially is also is you've got to work hard. You can get a lot of. When I was very sick, I was paid a lot of money. Well, not heaps, not like I'm making now, but you get money, but to even break even to work in like a convenience store or a shop, is you don't earn the same amount as the government gives you. And when you're sick and trying to get back on your feet, that can be so overwhelming, and that pulls you back. So there's so much that can go against you when it's actually breaking free from the trap that you're in. It's not, you can take, it's like me, I had all these surgeries and it just came out somewhere else. I had to like lose my memory and eat raw foods. Um, wow, I'm so sorry you went through all of that. Where are you now, and are you out of the medical system and safe? Okay, I'm actually on a holiday in Queensland with my family. I am very safe. I have been well for 4 years. So I've been doing what I'm doing now, as in sharing. I've obviously evolved for about 3 years. I started eating a raw food diet. I'd come out of most of the first part of my health journey was all just physical problems. I had psychiatrists because I was in chronic pain, and there was nothing but ADHD. There was no dissociative, bipolar, schizoid tendencies, mood disorders, none of it. And then the trauma got to a point where they thought I was going to die, and that I was 36 and I'm now 44, and that's when I dissociated. I came out of that, of all the medications. I was on hormone replacement still, but I've had a full hysterectomy, and I did well for about a year. I was on paleo diet. Then I got shingles through the eye, and because it's in the brain, I think it just set something off. I got FND, couldn't walk, couldn't talk. That was a horror freak show as it was. And then I'm PTSD and I'm reliving things, and that's when I was in psychiatric units again. I was fresh off the bat, private and public. Okay, and then I ended up private hospital, got me on some of the old medications, the SSRIs and the stimulants, and it got me up. But then I started drinking to cope with the PTSD. My liver failed. I ended up in, my parents wouldn't care for me, be connected to my caring. I slept in hotels, sometimes slept outside. I was very dissociated. I tried to go to like a rehab clinic, and I was having seizures. And I eventually got my own place. And I was vegan. I'd been vegan most of the time since getting the shingles in the eye. And I couldn't cook my food because I had no carers. I never learned to cook or anything. So I just ate the raw food, like the carrots and the nuts and the celery. And all of a sudden I was standing up. And I'm like, okay, I can hang the washing out. I'm like, this is just really strange. And I'd be doing this, just eating the food. And then I would be well enough with some energy and cook it, just dry roast some pumpkin, tomato, and basil. And I'd be back in bed. Like with heart palpitations, I had a lot of bleeding which would occur. Oh gosh, my hair was just about falling. It was all grey and falling out. Now although this part's died, it's not grey anymore. It all grew back. There's pictures of me. You can go and have a look on my page, and maybe in the community that I have there might be some pictures there of me. And then then I would do raw for a few days, and because I'd be sick again, and then I'd steam some cauliflower, maybe some ginger, and maybe some turmeric or garlic or something, maybe a few cashews. Couldn't get up again. So I'm like, frick Sky, you've been through absolute hell. What are you willing to do to be well? If it has to be raw food, like that isn't a big ask, Guy. You've slept outside, been lost in the bush, had all these organs removed. You've been in a room for like 15 years, thrown on the floor of psych units, hallucinated till the cows came home when they kept injecting you with things. Like this has got to be the easy part, right? So I started eating the food raw, and I didn't really know what it was. I couldn't read or write very well at the time because of what I'd been through, but I could see on Instagram people who were called raw vegans with big salads. And I'm like, okay, I'll follow the pictures and I'll do that. And I was very particular about realizing, because I couldn't uh, distract. I couldn't watch television. I had no concentration, could barely read. If I needed to make a phone call, I'd have to get a family member to help me because I couldn't remember my name half the time. Um, so where was I going with this? I'm not exactly sure where I was going with that. I've gone off in a different path there. But basically, eating the raw foods, I didn't eat a lot of like. I wasn't eating gourmet. Didn't have a blender. Didn't have a dehydrator. Didn't have a juicer. It was a chopping board and a knife. I was on disability payments, and I just kept ordering fresh foods. And in Australia, that was like greens, avocados, mango, carrots, a few nuts and seeds, but I knew anything dry wasn't the same as fresh. Plus, I'm missing the part of my stomach which absorbs iron, and within a year, I'd cured that. Within 2 years, my liver was completely back to normal. My blood work started making proteins. Everything on my blood test started to go up within. I was symptom free within 6 weeks of eating a raw food diet. And you just heard, like, I've been through it. I just kept going through it until I found this. So I'm safe. I'm out of the medical system. The only time I've gone back to the medical system was I had a bout of shingles again on my side here. And I said no to the antivirals the doctor wanted to give me, but I did have some pain relief, I think, for the first couple of days. And then I juiced my way out of that because I couldn't get up again until I juiced. And then I broke a toe and had some x-rays and a bit of pain relief. Oh, plus I had some teeth work done. But doctor-wise, I've only gone back for that. I go once a year and have a blood test. When I had too much fruit, a lot of fruit, my blood work tanked. Not tanked, but my iron tanked. But I'm missing the part of my stomach. But when I do lots of greens, which are much higher in iron, but plus I get a lot of, when I'm doing greens, you also got to get vitamin C and to get the iron across your gut. So I do a lot of like, mango or citrus, but I'm better that sort of way. So I'm doing really, really well. You almost died. Thanks for exposing the dangers. Your nails are cute. Thank you. I swear my skin, I'd only use like Nivea moisturizer on my skin. There is foundation and a bit of bronzer on my cheeks and a lip gloss. But for 3 years, I didn't use anything but this raw food and coconut oil. It's only recently I'm using, well, the only thing I'm using different is a moisturizer. And I'm 44 and been through hell. So I don't think I'd look like this if it wasn't for the food. Did you go through sarna? I don't know what that means. So have you ever considered taking animal-sourced omega-3 supplements? So I'm a vegan, but on that note is that the way things are processed, like the way that the animals get the omega-3s, I mean, the fish get it from algae, so I go to algae first. But even the algae is when this is the problem, is when you process something, you denature it. I'm actually eating the seeds. Like it's a raw food. Is my body just assimilates it. It's not like, it is like a lot for a gut and body. Like a human who needs a whole lot of vitamins like I did and they were giving me through vitamin infusions, through supplementation, I got sicker. But then you give it in the natural form and I got well. So I just don't do well, and I don't think humans do well, getting things synthetically. Like part of the reason I healed is that stopped. So that's why I would never go back. Coffee is the worst. It is so addictive, and it is just because it's always been with us. It's not like it's the most addictive drug that I've been on. Like all the other drugs that I kicked were all prescription and alcohol and like vaping, and coffee's just in your supermarket, right? But like it's always with us. Ashwagandha, I did that. Now having mast cell activation syndrome, which is being allergic to a lot of things, which the omega-3s from the seeds, oh my God, they're helping so much. Is anything that is like powdered or synthetic can set off an allergic reaction, and that's all doing a lot better now. But I got ashwagandha, but the delivery system is, well, anything that goes in the body creates like a heat or a leukocytosis response in the gut, where your body creates white blood cells as if like bacteria or cancer or whatever. Everything in the body is like a protective mechanism. And when you've got like a hair type trigger like me after being so sick, is it always things set me off. I can so far tolerate like all fresh food, and I have um, magnesium at night. But if I start pushing it, my body just gets like, it's like I get nerve pain, I get swelling, I get confusion, I get like scratchy skin, runny, watery eyes, watery nose from the mast cells in the body, which release histamines. But ashwagandha would definitely, a lot of people say it helps. Um, It says a no health spokesperson says this. I'm not sure what that means. Um, okay, so see now the problem my head is at. No matter what I eat, I have the smelliest gas passes. Well, I believe if you start eating a raw food diet, eventually your microbiome does change. I'm not sure what you're eating. I found eating, this is interesting, right? Having no stomach, I'm literally having cruciferous vegetables all day, like Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, full of sulfur, right? And then I'm having like chia and flax. I have coconut water and I have green juice as well, which hydration for me is like life. I need that hydration. When you first start eating this way, yes, you get gas, but you move through it. It's so healing. Now my stomach's flat as a tack. And if I eat like too much fruit, it starts to swell again. So I'm sticking to this. This works for me. But if you, in a general sense, is you probably want to try some enzymes. Like that have the enzymes to break down things like fats, like lipase and protease and things to help, because we can have a weak gut. But this isn't the solution. This is support to a diet which is going to be beneficial. Is this a drink? Yes, this is coconut. Magnesium. Yes, magnesium is life. It's so good. Hi, I'm in Australia too. Okay, Alex is 40. Yeah, if you're 40, you want to get that. Look, anything that's omega-3, like it's a gel, like, when you look at what chia and flax, if you wet it and it gets that gel consistency, that's what you start getting in your body. Your limbs start having like gel in them. The cells of your body are more gel-like. The nature of plants really is what we take on, anything we eat. I'm a recovering addict, been clean for 3 years. Congratulations. In your experience, did you get withdrawal symptoms at all? Oh, I've been through it, like coming off all of them, like the worst out of all of it. So I've come off like a huge amount of opioids. That's like bone snapping. That's what that feels like. The chills aren't as bad as it feels like somebody's breaking your bones day after day. They ripped a whole heap of them off quickly. Coming off amphetamines is not very nice. That's like really horrible, horrible depression. Coming off alcohol isn't very nice, but then it's nice because I don't feel as sick. The worst, the absolute worst drug, and I've been on a lot of psych drugs and addictive things to come off, is an SSRI. The thing about the drugs that are bad are actually the ones they call non-addictive, like an SSRI or SNRI. And I think that's what the other one is called, because your body isn't made to take them. So they go, oh, you don't need a higher dose, right? And that is like, it's like you don't know if you're asleep or awake. So that was going on top of all of this going on. Because then they decided to take that off me and try something else. And that's where, if you take a drug, especially a psych drug, you're literally handing your control over to somebody else. Because at any time they can take it away. And especially if it's psych, I've been rushed to hospital for physical things and they have a psychiatrist waiting there because I've been on an SSRI. They automatically assume. So with withdrawals, the only thing that stops me being in a mindset now of what I would call relapsing, or even when I get triggered, is the hydration of raw foods. It's not even a matter of just eating the raw foods. If I'm hydrated, I do not have addictive tendencies. As soon as I dry up, um, it's like a battlefield. Everything triggers me. I don't even know how to navigate the world. And I've only eaten raw food for 4 years. But if I let myself, whether it's too much dehydrated food or I'm getting things like apple cider vinegars and tamari, there's too much of that, is next minute I'm like, I think it's like a level of pain that my body is trying to numb out. But I don't get that with fresh coconut water, green juices, veggie juices. Hydration like really helps me. But each drug has a different horror story. But the thing about eating a raw food diet, people like, didn't you have, go through detox? No, I just kept feeling better and better. Yes, it wasn't comfortable coming off alcohol and vaping and drinking and I was really sick as well, so being in pain wasn't very nice. But I knew I was up. I was feeling lighter and better, and yeah. Look, if you've got smells coming out of your body, that's a bacterial problem. The microbiome isn't happy. So there's no quick fix for anything in the world. You have to diet, exercise, nature, like fresh air, and low levels of stress and good sleep are foundations. You've got to work every day. Our purpose on life is literally to look after ourselves, and somehow we're never taught or that we're never directed to look after ourselves. And that's why we're so busy trying to do things for other people. We're in so much pain and we end up addicts, or we end up with broken limbs, and we end up with injuries. And then as that happens, we take a pill to suppress it so we can go and help others. Like, because that's the way we're trained at school. We're not trained on how to every day get up. Your main job when you're born is that soul inside of you is to take care of it, and it's never been taken care of. So you have to do the basics first, but then obviously there's things that are going to help that as well, like probiotics, whether you use things like sauerkraut or apple cider vinegar, or you get a probiotic from a chemist, especially if you have histamine issues. Gut health will help a myriad of problems. When my gut's good, I have zero problems, and I have no stomach. So that's a hard thing to do, but I find the high greens, cruciferous, and juices and omega-3s help. So I've had 3 out-of-body experiences. Every time was total bliss. Yeah, well, the only out of body experience, I've actually stopped breathing on the operating table. Do not recall it whatsoever. But I felt like I died when I was like dissociating all the time. I wasn't here, that's for sure. I'm glad your experience was nice. A lot of people do astral projection travel, right? Like that's, see, I'm happy to be back. Like someone offered me mushrooms. No one's really offered me drugs. But I've been offered mushrooms, and I'm like, oh my God, no, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I don't want to like go anywhere. Like when you've worked hard to get back, you don't. Um, there's a great book called Heal Your Body. Good book. Interesting. I wish I had my computer. Oh, actually, I have a. Will this plug in? It should plug in. Bear with me. I might be able to get this working. I'll put the battery in and I should be able to get my computer working. I love like checking on things. And people say these things. Maybe this isn't going to work. Oh, it's on. So maybe we'll get my computer working. Can't believe it died. I can. It is eventually going to die. Aussie's always got something going on. It's an odd place. We do. Like, I feel like Australians are like, I'll see like these like reels or something come up, or like, or a YouTube video only in Australia. Like only in Australia, like someone will be talking and there's like, I don't know, just stuff. It's just like, it is very different. I agree. You're beautiful and inspirational. Thank you. Thank you. That's really nice of you to say. Uh, I like it. Trauma is but a test. Very, 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 very wise words, Jim Rose. When we leave, we are not burdened. Don't leave early, you might miss out. Oh, they are some wise words right there. Trauma is but a test. We signed up for it before we came. The soul, as I said, soul only gets better in the dark. Like a seedling grows in the dark. It does the most work in the dark. Like everything, once you pop through the surface, is light. Like when the tree just keeps shooting up towards the sun. That's what I feel like I'm doing now. I feel like I had to, first part of my life, especially just before the light, is the hardest. But the value in that, right? Like my greatest lessons came from no book. They came from life. Okay, I don't think this is going to work. Or it might. But anyway, we can keep talking. There's some negative beings on here. You look and sound great. Thank you. She's mad like us. I feel like, I said this last night, I feel like you have to be crazy to get somewhere in this world, because otherwise if you do what everyone else is doing, all you can do is get the same results. Like you really can't get any other results. So we've got to be a bit crazy and a bit different. And hopefully the people in this have been through something that's made them, they think that it's bad, but it's actually what defines you and makes, it's just straight, my superpower is what I've been through. Like when I talk to people, relate to people, the lens I see the world with, it's like, it's not the happy rainbows. It's truly that I see happy rainbows because of what I've been through. So, um, partners are not always there. I haven't had a boyfriend in like 20 years. That's like a really long time. But I mean, I was sick for a long most of that, and then I got well and just did a lot of self-love. So I don't have that drama. Also, I remember, I don't think I've ever shared this. I remember getting well and like being on raw foods and being outdoors all day and getting myself in the ocean and really connected to like nature and this raw food. And I've got no pain and no mental health issues. And I've got my little place. I'm still on disability payments, but I'm well. And I'm in my bed and I'm like, you know what? I actually love me. Like I'm in this bed and I'm so happy that I get to put my pajamas on, have my shower, put my pajamas on, I fed me and I put me to bed. And I was like I was always someone who was like, well, even when I guess when I was really sick, but younger, before I was like, you know, so sick that I didn't care. Well, the focus obviously wasn't men. I was like, I need this or I want this, and like I'm in bed, and I'd never learnt to like look after myself, and it's a really good place to be. When you know that you're happy, and then I get up in the morning and I get to look after me. So I was really grateful that I got to and I get to love me. And I just don't think we're ever taught that. And I think I had to walk through the guts of hell to realize this. Uh, I didn't realize you were vegan. You're open. You would be recommended. Um, yeah, no, I'm vegan. What? Ah, are you from Hawaii? I love Hawaii. I've actually gone through some of the same things you have been telling us. Well, then you are going to have great wisdom for the world. I feel like the thing actually, I really thought I'd been through it when I had been through all the physical things I had. But in truth, even that was still on this like linear path. Once you are off, you've left this earth, but your body's still here. Jim Rose, vegan, don't eat animal based, vegetarian, eat some animal based. Yes. Hey. Chia seeds, omegas. Yes. Chia and flax. CMOS. Yes. So I usually have CMOS, but I was having a mast cell reaction, like a histamine response to the CMOS gel. So I stopped everything, but I'm really not since I've been doing this lifestyle, which in the description, what mast cell activation is and the diet that I'm doing if anyone's unwell and want to look at it. Now mine is really extreme. It's based off the premise of kind of what Brooke Goldner does, Dr. Brooke Goldner, but also just know that I healed myself with like lots of veggies, avocado, very few nuts. But this is tailored to be omega-3s, and so she has a protocol of her own. This is just for people who are like really struggling, and I mean I'm missing my stuff. I'm so sensitive, so have a look in the description if you're unwell. And plus I think there's some videos linked in the folder. It's like a folder that has all the information. Heard of moringa? Yes, moringa is supposed to be really, really good. It's high in omegas, isn't it? As well. But I'm just sticking to that. Sorry, I've jumped with CMOS. CMOS gel has like 92 of the 102 minerals the human body needs. Last night we were also talking about shilajit as well, which is like that tar which is pulled off rocks, which is really dense with minerals as well. You must be learning so much about the body and nutrition. A lot of what I talk about is just what I already knew. I did study science when I was younger, but just I find like, as you guys would know, if you go online, you've got someone who's like, eat oats, don't eat oats. And the next day they're like, have some oats, but not too much oats. And then it's bread, eat bread, don't eat bread, eat fish, don't eat fish, eat this. So I just share what I learnt, like where I'm at, what works, because everyone's at a different stage of their journey. They're doing something different. Even what I'm doing right now, if I sat down in a year, who knows what I'm doing? And so I don't do I have a right to preach something to the cows come home and then just go, oh, I've changed my mind, when you've like you could say influenced a whole lot of people. So all I can do is say what I've done at different times, and the results that I've got from it, but being well aware that life is a journey and everyone's on it. So um, yeah, so uh, it's not a cure, it's a remedy. I'm not sure what that one's about. Uh, my mum passed away. Okay, I'm so sorry. So, Nikhil Palmer, I think that's how it's pronounced. My mum passed away last month. Can you tell me how to handle life without my mother? So, your mother isn't completely gone, is the first thing I want to say. Is she is everything she's ever done for you, imprinted on you, given you life, is always there. I think that's so important to know. And each soul checks out at the right time. Like there's no mistakes. So that doesn't make it easier for you. But I always think like we can get caught up in what we're missing out on when so much has been gifted to us. And I don't know the circumstances, I don't know the age. So, but always remember that everything, there's duality, and we tend to become protective and see what hurts us. But don't forget to always feel her love, because she never leaves. She is you. Aaron said, bananas are pretty good. Yes, they are. I'm allergic to them. They're high histamine. Green tea bags for eye bags. Yes. Castor oil is a good one as well. Um, I don't know what a roo is. Do you mean like a kangaroo? Maybe. Um, I don't know if who this is to. Sounds like withdrawals if you feel good when you drink alcohol again. Yeah, that's a cycle. They say that even having one drink takes 2 weeks to get over. And then I started thinking, like, well, when I was gone through periods of like any health in my life where I would have alcohol on a weekend, no one gives themselves 2 weeks, do they? Celtic salt, yes. Celtic salt's good. I'm drinking to stop. Look, when I was drinking, and it was only for like 3 months, I was drinking a bottle of wine a day to slow PTSD. So I was reliving things, medicated already. And when I had the alcohol, everything was processable. And I had three psychologists at the time and a psychiatrist, and they all knew. And compared to and so sometimes I would top that up. So I'd sip just little bits all day of this bottle of wine, which essentially a lot of people come home from work and drink a whole bottle of wine, which um, the doctors knew. They didn't think it was that bad, but because of my past, my liver just started failing. But um, where was I going with this? So my opinion on that, I don't think what I was doing at that time was good. I had lessons to learn. But what I'm learning on my healing journey now is everything can be a tool, but you have to earn the right to become the master of the tool. And for me to do that, I have had to dive deep, deep, deep into doing a lot of raw foods. So I'll give you an example. I think I brought this up the other day. I have not had alcohol since I've been a raw vegan, but I was on an aeroplane trip on the way back from Hawaii. I hadn't eaten. I actually had COVID and didn't realize, and I was in a lot of pain, and I was starting to dry reach. In hindsight, because they had alcohol on the plane, I don't think I could have eaten, but I was in a lot of pain. And in hindsight, knowing what I do, this is the double-edged sword, right? You have to become the master of the tool to be able to actually use it. Is I probably should have got a small amount of wine to help with throat pain, ear pain for a few hours, right? I obviously wasn't there yet, but I actually am in a place now where I have respect for the tools. I don't think I'd ever go back to alcohol, but that's like a break in case of emergencies here. We're on a plane up in the air. There's nothing I could do. I had the pressure coming down. I hadn't been able to get any food down. Knowing the things I've learned in my life, having a small amount may have been beneficial to get me through the flight, right? I've just noticed that, and so something like matcha I've put back into my diet, right? And there's caffeine in that. I find that my concentration over the span of the day is much better if I have it. but there's that addictive tendency to continue to have it or have it excessively, or then I want coffee and then I want something else. And so it's literally, I feel we can use anything as a tool, but you have to become the master of the tool. And that, my friends, is the difficult thing in a world full of addictions. So there's my thoughts on things like alcohol or anything. Do I like Joe Dispenza? So when I healed myself, I realized I had been disconnected from the world for years, not just because of what I went through in the bedroom, being like physically sick and all these surgeries, and I wasn't really out of bed for years. But when I got FND, which is a functional neurological disorder, which displays as a stroke, where I was having like seizures and I couldn't move for days, I had to go to a neurological hospital to relearn to walk and talk. So when I found the raw foods, I realized that it wasn't just the food I put in which could completely transform my life, but everything around me could imprint on me. And when you have no concentration, you haven't been connected to anything in years, you're almost like a dead blank slate. So what I noticed is I never learnt my voice. And when you start doing meditation or reading, you take on what you read. Now that can be great if you read exactly what you want, but even if it's Joe Dispenza, you can't pre-predict what's about to come into your head. I was in a very unique situation when I got well that I realized this, and I didn't want anyone in my head. I read very little. Even now, I read very little. I try when at my downtime, instead of consuming what others have to say, I go outside. And as much as you think that it's critical thinking, it's the same as brainwashing. And that's fine. You want to brainwash yourself with good things. I think Joe Dispenza is one of the best, right? But I choose to finally know me on this planet where everything is just overriding who we are. That's my take on him, is that I had this, as much as I went through hell to where I got to, I didn't have anything, couldn't connect to anything, is I then realized every person I'm even around that's talking at me, I'm becoming them. What we ingest, whether food-wise or voice-wise, and I just don't want anyone in me besides me. Like, so that's me, right? And it's where I'm at. So that's, yeah. What's your thought on form? I don't know what that means. Did you want someone to offer you drugs? No. No? I don't know what that means. I think you're referring to like when I was on a plane, maybe. So the other thing, I started reading a Joe Dispenza book, and before he says the transformation stories, he talks about what they're going through. And I'm so sensitive. I stay so high vibe. I just want everything to constantly be positive and high. And I started to go into stories of these suffering people go through. And then, of course, they come up. But I'm going, oh, I'm feeling terrible. I don't want it. This is not what I signed up for. Not signed up. It's only the books. But that's me. And it doesn't mean it's bad what he does. He helps heaps of people, but it's just the things that I've been in a very unique situation, and I just at the moment. But that could change in 2 weeks. But I'm just not there yet. Oh, you don't want to see my whole outfit. Trust me, it's just shorts. Shorts and a top, black shorts and a top. It's not what happens to you, it's how you handle it once you get back up. 100%. 100%. Good question. Do you recommend a juice fast? I think you should put juicing next to alcohol, in the sense that it is a tool, it's not a way of life. Here's my juicing experience. When I got on the raw foods, there's such a dynamic between the body and the sacred geometry of food. Like, there's something so sacred about what the Mother Earth and the sun and sky create, and you take this download. When you create juice, you destroy the plant to get part of it. Same when you make it, you dehydrate it in some way, you're destroying part of it. So it's the processing, right? But some people get really sick, including me. This is whole food from a plant, so this doesn't count, but I have green juice every day. I'm missing my stomach. I do it and would prefer it to be a smoothie, but I can't fit in all I need. I notice my skin goes crepey when I start doing a lot of juice. People can call it detox, but I was just aging at 100 miles an hour. I did it to get up from shingles. It took me 3 years to get in. Every time I had it, it didn't feel right, but I don't have a stomach. To me, no better experience has been than eating whole foods, even if I've done like grapes for 3 weeks, watermelon for about a month. But I used juicing to get up. But then I juiced for 46 days and my iron ended up dropping down to, and then I tried to eat, couldn't eat. So ended up juicing in total for about 80 days. That year I continued to juice and have one meal at night. That's the year my iron tanked. So when I was eating whole foods, it didn't tank. I corrected it. And I found it really hard to get off the juice. It's beneficial for hydration, but I would see it as a break in case of emergency thing. I don't think it's the way. I think someone's better off working each day at eating a whole food, unless you're so unwell, especially people who have got severe gut motility problems. They can't, or things just keep going through them. There may be a period where they just need juice to settle it, but then get back on food. Because it's a nasty way. You just get trapped. You can't get off it then because you don't have to eat. So your body thinks it's running efficiently, but my body, when I look at photos of me, I was aging so fast. That's what I think of juicing. I think anybody is better spending time every day working towards something than thinking that this will fix something as well. I'm not a teacher. I'm just sharing what I've learnt. Hi everyone. I have a question. All sea moss is not equal. That's true, but all plants are not equal. Someone eating a banana in one place of the world and someone eating a banana here, you getting different nutrients. You're only getting nutrients in a food that come from the soil. So everything is always a little different. Uh, uh, oh, um, smoking. Poster child for recovery, smoking no more, but still smoking. I think that means that you're still smoking. Um, I quit that. I smoked when I was in pain. Oh my God, I would do anything not to feel. Smoking, vaping. I didn't drink most of the time I was in physical pain. That was just the last part. I guess it took that long till I was like, I've run out of everything else. Well, I couldn't get up half the time. I only get for short periods, so I guess smoking wasn't much an option. Um, uh, Hang on a second. Hang on. There we go. Starting to like get rid of people because it's like some people I don't even know what's going on. Yeah, it's weird. Oh, at least I deleted lots. Remember drinking for fun. If you mean alcohol, I do feel there was a period in my life when I was younger and I wasn't that sick, or I don't think I'd become sick yet. And you'd go to like a party and you'd have like a long neck of beer and maybe like 4 cigarettes or 5 cigarettes. That's probably how it all starts, right? So, but like you'd be buzzed. You'd be like, this is so much fun. And plus, you're already a kid, you had so much energy, but I just don't think that's like a good thing. Um, hey, party boy. I've been more lenient with myself when it comes to alcohol because an addictive personality, that's never was my main vice. You have to master your demons. Yeah, it's like master the tools, right? It's like if you can look after yourself enough that you see everything that you've had access to in your life as a tool, you stop seeing it in a way. So if you fear something, it still has a hold on you and can control you. I feel like I'm at this space in my life now where I first got well and I lost a lot of my memory and I got on very fresh foods only, not even like much dehydrated, nothing from a packet for a couple of years, lots of fruit. And everything was like, including people who did things that didn't resonate with me, I felt I had a right to judge. And things that's bad, doctors are bad, all sorts of things, right? And I'm in this space now where I'm like, well, I think I've got a lot of my memory back too, and I'm having denser food, so like more veggies, more nuts or seeds, um, a matcha, and I'm very much that back in the space where everyone's back on, like in part of their journey. Everything I've learned is actually a tool that may serve someone that I speak to at some time. A lot of the time as a health coach, although I'm using things I've learned since I've gone raw, a lot of it that I help people with has been learnt on my journey, right? And if I fear that, I sit in a negative energy. The more you can sit in love with something, you might, I know people who are on a health journey who do have a glass of champagne at someone's birthday or Christmas each year. You know, that's probably healthier than obsessing over how negative something is, because you sit in a negative space and that spirals. So it truly is like, if it's not your vice and you, I don't know, once a year at Christmas you have, I don't know, half a glass of port or something, it's not real. It's the same as bloody, like, is it really that alcohol is the step before vinegar. Like, I don't think it's a big deal. It's what it means to someone's life. And that for me is just, I can't personally go back unless a break in case of emergency, as in like I'm somewhere and I'm in a lot of pain and the only access I have to get me through, and that's not a normal situation, right? But with these, the more you can see something and see what it means to you, and that may mean you never touch it again, but the more you keep putting it down and put others down that have it, is there's work there to be done. It's like, I just think that's really important, because remember, the society was built by more than just the person who's consuming it. So the way that society is built is we were built to kind of fall into that addictive trap. But don't drink around people who run away from guilt. That's a fascinating statement. Actually, coffee was the worst for me too. It's amazing, like it's out of all the things that I have gone back to and think about the most. And I think it's also because, like, you walk down the street and people are holding it and you smell it, and it's like also tastes good. Okay, let's not talk about it now. But look, I like matcha better, to be honest. Do you know what? When I went raw vegan and I was like out and about, like I have been, when I was sick, if I went to a wedding, I would have a couple of glasses of wine, but it wasn't, like, I was so sick, it would be just like a one-off. It always took me so long to recover from anything when I was really sick, if I got somewhere. But everyone said to me, you are just so much fun, like, sober. It's like you bring this huge energy. Everyone's kind of dulled down if they're really drunk. And you leave the party early because everyone's so drunk they don't remember. And the next day they feel like crap, and I'm out running and doing Pilates. So... do I eat kiwi? Yes. There's a lot of hype about kiwi being really good for the bowel and bowel movements. Beef okay for your gut? Well, essentially no. Anything, the stronger it is, the more inflammatory it is, right? But I'm not here to tell you what to do. It depends where someone's at on their journey. So people can say, is it bad for your gut? Well, it's also relative, because if somebody's consuming a whole lot of processed things, and that can be even more damaging. So I always think people have to let go of things in order. I don't think you can just throw everything out and think that that's how the health journey works. Do you think a person should invest in his 20s? Mostly in, what's your point of view? Do you mean invest in their health, or are you now asking me for financial advice? Because I don't think I'm the one you want to come to. Well, I look after my finances, but I'm not someone who's great with like knowing what investments and stuff. Not yet anyway, right? Maybe they'll be alive this time next year, all my investment tips. If you have the money, invest, if that's what you're talking about. You know, guys are not good company. Never drink with bad company. I don't know what that means. Yes, sacred geometry. Geometry is like what everything's built off. It's the one universal. People say maths, I say geometry. Sacred geometry, right? You can find the same golden ratio and phi designs in like what Metatron's cube, in this the flower of life, all these beautiful geometry, which basically created the reality we see. And really it came from sound. And I believe that if you can eat the sacred geometry, you just get downloads. I will show you quickly my scar. It goes from here all the way past my belly button. Uh, how do you kill your kidneys and lower your cholesterol? Eat a high plant-based raw diet. It may not be the problem. That's the thing. People come to doing this because something's got bad, blocked, or broken. Um, but really, you don't know. It could be your adrenals. It sounds like you're eating an inflammatory diet, and you clean that up, and that goes. Your sore knee goes. Your bad sleep goes. The mood issues go. Your gut starts to heal. We've all got to start looking after ourselves. Now, I need to take this microphone off because it's about to. Ooh, I need to put the other one in because it's about to. Oh. Uh, okay. There we go. Okay, we're back in business. We have no microphone though. All right. What does croaky mean? Crikey? I don't know what that means. I absolutely like in the high of substance, alcohol is worse, but with absence of those substances, I drink responsibly. I have heard this. So I have known people who are addicts who drink way too much with the drugs and then get rid of like the main problem and able to have like a wine with some ice in it. But it's up to a person to master it, right? It's not up to anybody else. So, hi, the Netherlands. I don't know who that is. You definitely have to utilize your vices as tools, assign them new roles in your life. Yeah, but also they can help others. Like when you find, I feel like when you get on your health journey, you can really end up your career or job, you live in your purpose and you can really help others. And so never think something that you did or know was bad. My body utilizes it. You can't talk with your hands. I've probably tried to talk with my hands. Stop ignoring my questions. I need advice. I don't know if I missed. I thought I didn't miss any questions. Referring coffee, this is someone who kicked oxys up, same with me. Coffee was the longest to absolutely quit. It's crazy. It's nice to also know that you guys have gone through something similar. So Alicia Michelle, stop ignoring my questions. I need advice. I'm not sure what you asked. Here we go. Did you manage to stop what helped? Maybe write the question again because I'm right down the bottom. If Alicia is still there, I'm not sure. I guess you get to a stage with addiction, right, where you feel so free and you realize why something was really controlling you. You want to see how far that goes. I just wanted to be on plants. Like literally, if you put me outside, I could eat some, I don't know, peaches off a tree. It wouldn't bother me. Like, and you're really controlled. And so you're like, I'm letting go of alcohol, and then it's like cigarettes, and then it's coffee, and then you want to get rid of lollies, and you want to get rid of your vape. And the more you get rid of, the more you also find yourself. So pain medication. How are you? What? So if you're in pain, get on a raw food diet yesterday. I swear to God, half the if I'm ever in pain, it's because I haven't even eaten high enough raw. And I was in chronic pain 4 years. If you've heard, I was on 500 milligrams of oxy in the morning. At night, my breakthrough was 60. I was on a fentanyl patch of 170, which was changed every 2 days instead of 3 days. I was on Valium, SSRIs, amphetamines, alcohol. They put me in the cardiac unit for ketamine, in hospital, Botox in the spine, local anesthetic in the spine, and then obviously morphine and pethidine when I have all the surgeries. So I've been through it, and the only thing now, which I guess when so I had a full hysterectomy for this rare disease, and that helped, and then I started coming off the painkillers. But talking about wanting to go back, and if I end up in pain now, raw foods for pain, raw foods for mental health, raw foods for pain. Raw foods can help with a lot of things, but it can take longer with some things. But as soon as you get hydrated, your pain level drops. As soon as you get hydrated, your mental health just seems to clear up. Like, I had so much pain when I first started, not as bad as it used to be, and I also had severe mental health problems, which we've all heard here, me in psych units, and those are two things that have really helped. How long does it take to get off pain, surgeries, cancer, ton of anesthesia? So I don't think it takes long. Do you mean off it, or do you mean... So whenever the biggest one was when they removed my stomach, duodenum, and top of intestines, and that was a 3-month stint with 4 huge surgeries. Well, no, because my chronic pain had me on more painkillers than that, essentially, because obviously my nerves were used to it over time of like 10 years of painkillers. But when you come off even those type of surgeries, it's weird. Your body's just been through so much. Within 6 months, I'm up. And I've lost organs, and off all of that. But the other stuff, I was like traumatized into it. That's where I ended up in this dissociated, and they took everything off me. I was off most of it, but the rest of it, they just took off me. And so I never wanted to be in that situation again. So I was kind of feared into it. But as for the addictive tendencies, I have to eat raw foods and stay hydrated, because then I stay present. The more hydrated I am, the more present I am. If not, your brain floats off, and then you start ruminating, and then you start noticing things in your body and not as like present. When you're on a lot of raw foods, you feel things like the wind and the sun, and it gives you such pleasure that you're not avoiding it. So when I get dry, everything in the world starts to attack me, and then I want cigarette, and then I want coffee, and then because I'm being like, I need to get rid of the pain, and I forget that I can hydrate a lot of the time. Yeah, raw vegetables, raw fruit, raw nuts, raw seeds, seaweeds. You can like flavor it with things like there's like sauerkraut and nutritional yeast and apple cider vinegar. All of the raw foods. If you're going to be a raw foodist, know about all the raw foods, because there's superfoods. But truly, if you're going through something, you want to have the more hydrating. This is fresh coconut water. Oh, thank you. I look like I'm 19. Thank you. I needed that. Best thing to reach out to her for help. Yeah, if anyone does need help, I am Raw Sky, so ROARSKYE, at gmail.com. You can always email me, but in the description is all my links if you want to talk to me about something, because I've been through, as you guys can hear, lots of stuff. So had 24 surgeries in 4 years plus chronic pains, etc. So much morphine. I had it was very similar to this. I had both I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. You're amazing to go through that. That's it's a lot. I feel like the universe or source or God picks us to go through some sort of these battles. But the hydration, if you have had any chronic illness and you go to hospital and they give you an infusion of just liquids, you will notice a huge percentage of your issues decrease. Because half the problem is the nerves and the body is extremely dehydrated, and it's not as much as getting water in as it is getting electrolytes with the right amount of fluid, and that's where coconut water comes in. And we've spoken about, if you've been in my lives before, about how we looked up on the internet, and there's journal articles how they have in war times infused intravenously coconut water. You can't infuse anything really. rehab has an 8 to, I mean, psych units, everyone in there, it's always the same people, and everyone that has addictive problems that doesn't kind of tackle also the food and the sunshine and the walking, which is constant work, constantly, when I talk to them, back in rehab, back in rehab, back in rehab. So, oh, thank you. All these people saying I look young and healthy. The food and sunshine. And I am in Queensland at the moment. Of SpongeBob, where all things they got to fit, and the catchphrase was always be hydrating, and it's so true. Never knew I'd hear it on a cartoon, but I love it. It really is true. It's like the hydration. You see a lot of these girls who are in their health journeys. I know they buy powdered electrolytes. I don't think that is going to be as good as actually like fresh green juice or coconut water. But there's something to getting hydration in. Do I drink Red Bull? Hell no. Oh my God, I think that would be, I'd probably be better off having a glass of alcohol and not Red Bull. That stuff, no human's body on an average day is meant to intake what is in those bottles. And the only time that people can have them, including myself, and they don't hit, is when you are on a whole lot of painkillers. Like, so that when you have it, it doesn't like shock your nervous system into flight or fight. Okay, here's the soy thing. Okay, I'm going to talk about this soy thing and estrogen. So what you need to know about phytoestrogens is they'll actually help you not take estrogens in from things like chicken. So phytoestrogens in soy and any plant sit on the estrogen receptors, which males and females have. But excess estrogen, which would usually take them up and activate these receptor sites, can't be activated because the mock or it's a phytoestrogen, which isn't essentially an estrogen, but it can sit on a receptor site. It's kind of like antagonists that sit on receptor sites for opioids. What is one of them called? I can't think right now. They use it for people coming off like morphine and heroin. I can't think, but it sits on the receptor site but doesn't give a high. Is like that. I can't think. What is it? Someone will tell me in the comments. And you prescribed it for a period, but you don't get high off it. It's the same as the phytoestrogen. It'll sit on the receptor but not activate it. So you want more of this on all the receptors, so that all the excess estrogens that come from microplastics, which come from I don't know, creams, anything which estrogens have come into the body, is they won't activate because the cell side, the receptor side is already uptaken. So you kind of want those phytoestrogens. I am from Australia. Yeah, or you can do the salt. So if you're having it, when you're having like water, is put little bits of salt crystals under your tongue so that you get the sodium, which gets the hydration into your cells. Hey Kiko! Yes, Kiko, get the coconut water. I just think, so when it comes to rehab, I just don't think there's one thing that fixes something. I think you have to do the whole pattern and picture. You have to do the basis. This is the thing, right, is I did disability work when I first got well, and when I would take some of these people into, and they have an intellectual disability, so it's not always their fault, but I'd take them to doctors and physios and nutritionists. Their whole life would be like mine, going to experts. But as soon as they walk out, they'd throw lollies down their throat, they'd get a Pepsi, they'd go to a shop and get takeaway food. And I knew from my experience that that's just feeding a cycle until you work. And it's the hardest to do. It's easy to swallow a pill. The hard thing is to do is get up, and you don't have to run a marathon, is just get some sunshine. It has to start slow. Get some sunshine, make a food, even if it's one meal that day that's good for you. It shows you and the universe that you love you. It's the most important thing. I wish I always could understand what self-love was, but it took me going through what I went through to learn that. But I feel that's like rehab. Rehab could be really beneficial for someone who is already applying some things, or they can learn some tools, but you have to leave that rehab and not think so much about going to the next rehab. but how you look after yourself. And not rush back to work, not, imagine like what I did, where you spend a good 6 months nailing your self-care. So for the rest of your life, no matter what happens, no matter where I am, I will be healthy because I know how to look after myself. And so, like, even if I get unwell now, I do the same things I did when I was at rock bottom, which is I will have a shower, I'll make myself my favorite raw food or a raw food I can get down, I'll make sure I'm hydrated, I will rest, I'll make sure I get out in nature. If it's like mental health, I'll make sure there's a walk, but if not, I will calm my system. I will not do work. Even as a health coach, I will put off clients to make sure I'm okay, because there's no use giving me broken me. And that's the same principles I use to heal myself, and they seem so simple that people skip them, including myself most of my life. Is that can't be the answer for all my problems. Like, look, like I need some like top person to fix me, but all the top people are just support. Your job is to look after yourself. So I don't know what Nello is. Oh, here, Kimbo said postnatal depression was absolutely horrible. Changing my diet and staying hydrated did wonders. I don't have children, but I'm very grateful I don't, because I needed to heal without any looking after me first. But I have so much respect for women who have kids and you go through something. So you're not just going through it, are you? You're going, ooh, I don't know what happened. Oh, the light went off. Sorry, guys. We're in the dark here. I have so much respect for that you could look after you and yourself. Let me move this inside, if we can. Bear with me here. I have to. Is this the right? I'm totally in the dark here. Maybe this is one. Okay. I think we're back in business, maybe, possibly. Nope. have had full-blown conversations. Oh, I don't even know what to say here. I'm just going to scroll to the end because it's going to be saying no audio for ages. Oh my God. I full got into it. I've said things about how amazing I think women are who go through what they do. I've spoken a bit on hormones. And yeah, I've done this. I've done full lives for an hour with food and recipes. And then someone pop in and go, oh, your sound's off. Oh, that's too funny. I know I was too far behind on the comments. So I'm like way back. That pushed me forward, didn't it? Because there's a whole bunch of people that are saying, we can't hear you. So turn it back off. I'll kick you out. Hey, I might have just taught a lip reading course. I was like reading out about all the different antagonists and I'm like talking about hormones. And I was basically, I don't know whether any of it now matters. It just broken what I was like, that focus. But I was saying, I do think women are amazing who go through depression, but yet they've got to care for another soul. Because I've had a full hysterectomy, I've had hormone imbalances. Well, massive. I don't have any hormones unless I take it synthetically. And I've also had mental health crisis, but I've been the one I've had to care for. So I think it's amazing when women go through what they do. So I do read chat, but I get behind on the chat. I read all of the chat. But because I dropped the phone, I got even more behind. And then I'm like answering questions. Thanks guys for like telling me though. So, hey Tessa, you missed me. I don't know whether you were there before, you missed me. Everyone had to lip read for like a good 10 minutes while I had like some technical difficulties and then I had a whole conversation on mute. Yeah, and you know what? People think other people care. Like they do, but like just say like I'm like get really self-conscious over something somebody else says. They walk away and they go, got to get the tomatoes for dinner. I've got to grab that. Where's the cut? They're not still thinking about what I did. And if they did, that's on them. We literally need to just start loving and caring for ourselves. And like, it's fun too, like having a full-time job that's turned into a job of caring for myself and then helping others learn to care for themselves is like the best thing. So like I got myself well by learning to care for myself. And like you think you care for yourself, but I cared for like, I need this, I want this, I need another doctor to fix this. And then for the first time I'm like, right, Sky, you have to care for yourself. Like you have to get this part right. And then I kept doing it. That's what I do every day. That's why I can't be a good health coach unless I've nailed caring me. So if I'm not well, I need to reassess what I'm doing. There's no point trying to teach others how to care. I'm going to keep up with the questions now. You have more coconuts. What do you mean? I have coconuts here. Thank you. You can't stand me. We hold on to those interactions, but the other person has already forgotten. Yeah, so we think but this is back to never learning to care for ourselves. So instead of thinking about how I actually feel in a situation, we're very worried about and we're only caring that we're embarrassed, right? We just don't think of ourselves. And that's what I think the dark night of the soul is. Like my psychiatric stint and that whole era was like literally waking up one day and seeing reality for what it was and realizing that like other people are on their journey and not, I don't know, it was so weird. Psych things are so weird. I mean, I studied it and it helped me more when I had to go through chronic pain, as in the psychology of the matter. But when someone's lost their mind, you're better off dealing with a spiritual healer than a psychiatrist, a psychologist. So we hold these, then had brilliant thoughts and no one could hear. Look, God heard me, the universe heard me, I heard me. I might go to sleep and have a dream about, I don't know, phytoestrogen receptors and what was it, Subloxin or something. I hope I I get mixed up in my dream. It probably will, knowing me. Probably have a whole new story by tomorrow. You are a good commenter, party boy. I appreciate you. And you're in the self-love journey, so I love that. Thanks, Tessa. I was trying to do it, but I'm not very good at moderating. Everyone thank Tessa. Tessa's amazing. For 600 seconds. Yeah, we just needed to originally grow up and know love. Like I feel like we just grow up and everyone's like, say thank you, say please, go over there, be nice. We just never, like, when we're at that beautiful, vulnerable, just from source time, taught that, like, give yourself a hug. I think it's better now, right? Is if someone gets upset, what do you feel like doing? You know, they might want to go have a play in the garden to, like, express what they're feeling. They might want to have a bath. It's more like, don't act like that in public, where the child's eating food that's bad. They're overtired. And it's just like that generational trauma. And then when the child grows up, they do it to their kids because they're so traumatized. And like that awakening, I feel like if you've had severe psych issues, it's just like this massive awakening. It's funny, you know, because a lot of people, like, you share so much, Sky, and I feel like when you've been at like rock bottom like me, whether everyone knew it or saw it or not, I feel like everyone knew about it. Like, I've already been stripped naked, if that makes sense. Like, that seen that I feel like everyone's already seen it all anyway. I mean, I don't know. Oh, I'm getting lots of beautiful compliments. Thank you. And Tessa's putting half the people in timeout. I'm really good, hey, at like just diving in on the people I want to talk to on here. Do you know sometimes I go walking along the beach and for the whole time that I'm doing it, I'm like just saying, love, I love you, I love you. And I swear I feel myself rise. Like I feel straight up, my smile comes out, I see the world better. I'll literally get in these phases where every step is like step by step, bit by bit. I love that song. And day by day. That's what I'll be singing on here, right? So, yeah, like I just keep saying the words love. And I swear the universe just brings it back to me. It's incredible. So all the simple things really give us the life we want to live. It's not all the things we think. Like we think we've got to work hard for like, I don't know, fancy trips and like expensive things. But when you sit in love, everything is just bliss. So love, sending out lots of love all over the world. The affirming. Yeah, it just comes. Like if you are already grateful for everything you've got. This is the other thing. When I got myself well, I was so grateful, as I said, for just having a roof over my head. Like remember I was saying when I was younger, I grew up on the water. I went to private school. I had a nanny. I was so I thought I was poor. I don't have this. I don't have that. And then after you've come out of rock bottom and just to have a roof over my head and a comfy bed, I thought I was in heaven. Anything on top of that, and food, anything on top of that was just like, oh my God, I'm being showered with gifts. And when you sit in that, and it's hard, and this is back to the Joe Despenszer thing, the more things externally I let in that weren't just me, the more my life then I started to think I needed things. But when you are like, it's like what I went on like this journey by myself. And so anything that came in, like, and especially like, I guess that's why I was already vegan, but like I could start seeing like butterflies everywhere and I just sit in nature all day. Like I was literally by myself all the time. And thank you. I go on walks and runs with my high energy music. Me too. Taking this, me too, with the sun. And on top of my standard workout, it's really beneficial for my mental health. So I will get up and do Pilates. And it's not the same as if I've got up and walked and then also put my feet in the ground, put on like my favorite songs, watch the sun come up, and then gone to Pilates, or even forget Pilates and just been outdoors. Like, all the best things in life are free now that I've discovered what you mean to me. It's so true. The best things in life are free. And that's the thing we have to get to and connect to, and then we can level up with Pilates and everything else. But we have to appreciate what we already have. Hi from the Netherlands and Bosnia. Well, hi from Australia here. Oh, thank you. So No Name said, I just checked your videos and seen your journey. Congratulations. That's amazing. Yeah, there's some good reels there that show just even, especially there's one I just reposted where I spent a lot of time, because I literally completely changed my life in 1 year with the raw foods, and you'll see it. Started off with like these grey wispy bits of hair. I hadn't slept in months besides like blacking out bags under here. And then very quickly I'm up. So go have a look. Oh, which stuffed animal did you get? Do you know what I do after work? I go on TikTok and look at puppies. They make me so happy. They're little podgy, chonky, like little roly bodies. And I'm like, I've got a really small apartment and I love a dog, but like I just watch other people like raise their dogs, like them eating and like rolling, and they're so happy, and they're just like little bundles of love. And like, because other people have problems, so I've been around people like all day, even though it's online, and then all of a sudden you just want love. And like, as I said, is when you open a book, you take in the words of another. And sometimes I just like to either be in nature, jump in the ocean, watch puppies. Yeah. It's interesting. My friend likes Joe Despenszer but finds him too scientific. Is there any good suggestions? So it's about a vibe, right? As I said, I realized how like the true value I get is music. I love music. I can put music on and dance. And so like a lot of love songs I sing to myself. There's that, so when a love song is always sung like to some deep love, like someone you absolutely adore and love, and they've changed your life, and you would do anything for love, like, or you know, I would do anything. That's just one song that's come to mind. But I started singing those love songs to myself when I was in the midst of my healing. I couldn't really read, but I could get love songs and sing them to myself. And that's some of the deepest love I've ever heard is in that form. And I just found like if I read, I'm taking in someone else's opinion, and we're talking about someone who had like literally a blank slate of a mind. So I found songs and music and nature. Seriously, all the greatest ideas that I have that have occurred in my life have come after I've been on a walk, been on a run, sitting in the park. Like nature literally talks, and it's really, I know, really hard for our mind to still. But anyone else, even my words are going to have, like, I want to inspire people to obviously be in nature, get your favorite songs, you know, not do what I do, but feel inspired by what I say. And anyone who gives you a mechanism of what you should do, a protocol, I think you're taking a step into their journey, and you're not supposed to do that. Like, I didn't heal myself by following any protocol except finding inspiration from, like, when I could remember lots of things I'd seen and putting it together like a jigsaw puzzle. So maybe right now your friend is drawn to, I don't know, podcasts or getting outside and like fill themselves with lots of things. They might discover they're their own Joe Despenszer, right? Getting a journal and manifesting, like literally just writing down your dreams. Yeah. Bye. I look at cats on YouTube. I don't blame you. Some people are cat people. I'm obviously a puppy person now, and it just like they make me so happy. I watch cat videos too. I miss having a pet. We say we miss having pets. I don't have an animal. So when I was really sick, my mum got a Bichon Frise, which is those big white fluffy head dogs. and she would always sit on my bed, and I was like obsessed with her, but I got my own place and I wanted to care for me before I got an animal. I still don't think I could get an animal, but obviously the calling is coming if I'm like watching them. But it's so cute. It's called a Huggimal. I need a Huggimal. Maybe that's all I need. Maybe I watch TikTok puppies and get a Huggimal. I wish I had my computer here. I want to see what a Huggimal is. That sounds really cute. Everyone go Google what a Huggimal is. Did you used to do drugs? So no. So I was on like, oh gosh, well, we've done fentanyl, oxy, I vaped, I smoked, I had coffee. This is all though, well, the coffee obviously wasn't, drinking obviously wasn't, that was to help with PTSD. But a lot of it was prescribed. When you say do drugs, the only drugs I've done, I have done things like, can you say these things on lives? I don't know. We'll see if it gets banned. I have done Coca-Cola, and I have done stimulants when I have been out, but I have never done them to do more than stay out. You have to remember I was really, really sick and I was already on a whole lot of medication, and I don't like losing control. But someone would give me, like, I'd be having some drinks and I'd feel tired, so I'd have some, like, something stimulating. I have had eggs before, I don't know what else to call them on these lives, and I have had like grass before, but neither of them did I like, because I just, yeah, the other ones I've had. So there you go. This is like confessions, right? But it was like after having drinks out, and I was already on a lot of stuff. I was already on like amphetamines for, what was it, for ADHD. So, oh my God, I remember being in the psych unit. I don't know how many people here have been in psychiatric units. You're already off your face just from being dissociated, and then the weirdest things happen in there because other people on their journeys left their physical body here to, I don't know, wander. And I remember, oh my God, the stories. Oh, but I remember coming inside and I'd been outside by a church and had an epiphany that I was clean. Like, because I'd always had a fentanyl patch on for at least 3 years. I'd been on oxy, I'd been on Valium, I'd been on all these medications. I'd coming off them for years. I was sitting by a church where I smoked. So obviously I hadn't given up everything. And I realized I was off everything. I was so proud. And as I walked inside, one of the inpatients who was on her break said, "Oh, do you want me to get you some cocaine?" And I'm like, is this actually happening? Did I not just figure out 2 seconds ago I'm clean and now we've got people? And I'm thinking, you probably shouldn't have it. Anyway, she decided not to. I decided I was going to have it. And then she said, "No, you're too much of an angel. I can't give it to you." And I'm like, that's probably a good thing. But like, you can see. And then I went inside and told the doctors, I'm like, "You've locked me up in here and there's all drug addicts and they're wanting to give me drugs and I'm going to get drugs." It's like a mess. It's like the biggest, like, I don't know. I've actually never laughed as much inside. I actually had people I become friends with who stole all the sheets and tied them together and got a couch, pushed it up against the wall and threw the sheet over and climb up the wall. Like, this place is like a Saturday night nightclub. No, Saturday night, go hang out there and see, like, feeling positive affirmations. If you want a dog that can be matched and trained 1 to 2, they're instantly ready to be your bestie. I need a dog. I just think I just need a bigger place. The best drug is exercise and sleep. Yeah, no, can I be honest? The best I ever feel is raw foods. Like, raw foods, when you're, oh my God, you just feel like everything, your whole life's connected and working, and it's great. I thought you were talking about meth. No, I don't know. No. My eyes are so blue. Probably all the raw foods. Is that plugged in? I've got so much going on here. I need to plug something. Here. No, that's the wrong plug. Bear with me. Make sure I don't knock this. That's going to die in a second. Okay. We're back in business. Though I do feel like I need to leave soon to go to the bathroom because I've drunk all that coconut water. Okay, there we go. Got this coconut water. It's gone through me. And the hairiest forearms! I do! They are! I've got, Mum used to say, Mum was the same, that her dad used to call her little peach, because peaches are hairy. So, a psych ward, a ballet. I don't know, I was dancing in one. I hadn't been out of bed in years, and all of a sudden I'm like dancing. Like, I don't know what happened to me to get there, but it's almost like there's all this emotion trapped, and you take away. I'd already dissociated, but then they took away all these medications. Then they injected me with new medications. My brain, I was only 37 kilograms. I mean, it's just a weird experience. Seem like you're drugged now. No, like I'm not. It's just coconut water. I don't think I've had anything. I had a matcha this morning. There is a lot to unpack. It's me dancing in a psych unit and my hairy arms. There is a lot going on in this live. Sometimes you just have to laugh, especially your own trauma. I do too. You do. If I don't look at that situation and go, how does a girl after like all what she went through just get left, everything, like I could go into the hell of it, but like some of the stuff, like I remember some guy came in there, he was on ice from Drake's concert, and we had started eating this pack of red snakes and like red 40 and psych drugs and psych patients. It's not good. This guy was like the funniest guy while he was high, and then I think he ran away to Queensland. He might be up here. He just left. He said he's going out for leave and just left. Like, and we were all like, where's such and such? Oh, he ran away. All people that run away. It is like Alice in Wonderland. Or psych ward or coffee table book. Yep. Oh, I snort. Did you really coconut? And it gives me electrolytes I need. Why don't you just drink it? That sounds disgusting. It sounds like you'd get coconut boogers. I'm talking to someone and coconut comes out your nose. Oh, I think I get what you're saying. Maybe snow. Australia is really beautiful. The people are like really calm. You went from Coca-Cola to coconut water. Yes, I did. And I feel better on the coconut water. Does anyone have iPhone that I need to get a new iPhone. It just keeps dimming all the time. Like just randomly. And then I go to change the dimming power. I reckon there was a fault in like iPhone 13s. So Dog Defender said, she is just a natural, joyful spirit. Our trauma needs to be laughed at in many situations. It does. Seriously, sometimes when something like reminds me of something. So one of my friends in there, I went to sleep, which was very, very, very rare. And I woke up and he'd drawn Medusa on my wall. And I'm like, what? He was obviously seeing Medusa when he looked at me. I don't even know how he got my room. But I woke up and there was a mural of Medusa. Then in the place, they decided they give us a ton of chemicals, right? People come in every day cleaning hospitals with chemicals. They gave him sugar in water and told him to get it off the wall. And I'm like, that's not going to work. I think he might have drunk it. This place is just nuts. Sometimes people will act like I'm crazy for laughing at my trauma BS, and I'm like, no, I was crazier then, trust me. But I like my crazy. Not when you're totally dissociated, but like I've always been someone, I literally laugh and find everything like happy and funny until I don't, because I'm a Leo and I can get like snappy, but it's only like more times I get snappier in defense of somebody else. So let me see if I can grab my computer. I'll show you. Hang on one sec. No, it's not charged. Still not charged. Hang on. Can you please jump? I'm doing a video about jumping. Well, why don't you go on your live and jump? Everybody, jump, jump. Use your forearms as your profile pic. I love my crazy, especially now it's funny and energetic. I feel like the crazy people are the good people. I feel like people who are too uptight with their like trauma or emotions, they hurt themselves. Like you gotta just laugh. Like a good laugh. Can I play an instrument? No, but speaking of that, I dance. In a psychiatric unit, some of the most talented people, all of a sudden someone will just pick up a guitar and play something like unbelievable. Can't hold a conversation, but can play like guitar. Or someone jumps on a piano and plays like a symphony. And then there's me, the dancer. No, I can't. I had a full hysterectomy, so I didn't have kids. Do you love my music? I don't know what music that is. See if you can guess my zodiac sign. I'm super mellow, but can be fiery at times. Hard-headed, enjoy solitude, very reliable, very passionate about things I love. I have no idea. The only reason is I don't know the traits of many. If you're fiery, possibly in Aries, but they're not really in solitude. They're more out in front. I don't know, like a water sign maybe? That's why they say super famous creatives are batshit insane. Well, think about like Eminem has been in a psych unit. Like, you know, those people who are like really creative. Sia went through it. I'm sure there's others. I'm sure all of them have, right? Oh, Taurus. Oh, wow. Okay, I wouldn't have got that. I didn't know they were traits. So... Greetings from Italy. There's people from all over the world. Is it pink? I have the iPhone 13 too. You need to go to the Apple store for that. I know it's been doing it for ages. The actual fact that is the back of this phone is actually, which you cannot see, has all cracked off. And I film on this. I'd work on this. So I think I need to go and get a new one. I think I've got to the bottom of the questions, which is like, wasn't happening before. iPhone carrier said the 16 is the best. Is this, what's out now? Is there 17? Out? I don't know. I think I need a blogging camera. I blog so much. I film so much. I think I need to have a camera to film and then a phone that I actually use. In Canada, psych units are so institutionalized, it's scary. Oh, public psych units, private is very different, but public, like 10 months, and I was scheduled in one stint. I've done so many, but just, I didn't until I dissociated. Before that, was diagnosed with nothing like psych problems. It's crazy. Like literally, if you want to get outside, you have to get permission from the doctor, and then you have to be back in 15 minutes. You feel like you're a kid again. You already feel like a kid, and then they make you feel more like a kid. Yeah, the public, once I got to a private, I'm like, I said, oh, look, this medication used to work, this medication used to work, right? Script. Here you go. You've got counselors during the day. You've got a beautiful room. You're vegan. Okay, I'll make you grilled tofu at night. Oh, you're feeling a bit tired today. You just rest. You want to go out the front? Yes, just tell us when you come back in. So different, but they cost like $3,000 a day, versus like being like forced into a public one. But I guess that really, thanks for doing the stream. Your energy is great and helps with my anxiety. That makes me happy. That's why I do this, because I want people to feel happy and feel safe and know that you can heal and get through. I mean, if I can be dancing in a psych hospital and be up here talking now, hopefully I'm a little bit better than that, right? Tell me your age. I'm 44. Oh, I'm glad. I like doing this. See, things, when you've been as sick as me, I think because things come up all the time. I make videos on them and it helps me process them. So by me getting on here and doing this, it's like it helps me process me. Plus I'm on a holiday with my family, and being a raw vegan who's only having cruciferous vegetables, green juices, coconut water and flaxseed, it's really hard to be at restaurants or bars or pre-drink, like what is it, happy hour, or so I prefer to do this. What do you mean my clothes? What are my clothes doing? I thought I was covered up. What did my sister wear? A towel? This is just what I wore today. Ah, you're Melbourne. I'm from Sydney, but I'm actually in Queensland right now, having a Queenslanding coconut. It's coconut time with Sky. That's what's going on here. Every night at the moment, it seems to be coconut night. Sorry, I wasn't bending before. It's because I moved. Hang on a sec. Might be able to fix this. Thank you for telling me. I was like outdoors and I was like sitting up, and I think I'm bending into the camera now. I feel like I feel like an old man. All I need is the recliner to go back up. I understand that you bend too much, but it's all fine. Oh, I said last night it's from Texas. I lived in Houston, Texas when I was younger. We're trying to we can see your C-section. I've never done a C-section. Thank you. I did a water fast once, but broke it with dates and watermelon and felt like I was flying afterwards. That sounds like a psychedelic experience. I have heard, I don't know how long your water fast was. I have heard people speak of the first, they do like a 20-day water fast, 30-day water fast, and then first mouthful of like watermelon. My experience with something euphoric like that was when they removed my stomach. But previously, they tried to fix it. I'd been in hospital for a month, hadn't really eaten, had a few mouthfuls, vomited blood, back into surgery, cauterized both sides again, started to eat, vomit blood, then they removed the stomach, and then I got infection. So let's go 3 months without food, just hydration and painkillers. And I remember them giving me water. For the first meal before you actually eat, you can drink water again. And I remember thinking that I was Jesus. No, I'm not hallucinating. I was like, imagine what Jesus felt like in the desert for 40 days. I mean, I've done 3 months here without drinking water. I've never experienced, I'm like, this is better than everything. I was going through my head, I'm like, this is better than that, and this is better than this. I was like, this is literally heaven. All it was a cup of water, hospital water. And I thought I was in heaven because I hadn't had anything come in my mouth for like maybe more than 3 months, a long period of time. And then I remember eating. I don't remember that being that excited. I think there was a lot of anxiety when you haven't eaten, but I've heard people talk about when they first eat after a water fast, and I imagine it was like that experience. You're in Dallas. I've been to Dallas. Thanks, Tessa. I want to go to Australia one day. What should I expect? People like me. We laugh a lot. We do things which are really different. Like lots of my besties are online who are from overseas, and half the time they don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, I'm going to chuck my cozy on and go down Nulla, which essentially means I'm going to put my swimsuit on and go down the beach. Like we talk, and everyone's got a nickname, and it's really funny. We talk English. Like I speak English. I actually would have to say I have like upper class English for Australia, like very upper class. Like some places you go, I can't understand them. Hey, go on, mate. That's the kind of thing. It's like oh no, it's but it's lots of fun. It's really relaxed. Everyone's really casual. There's not much stress. Hey, Budapest. Australia is definitely worth coming to. It definitely is. Especially if you go up here to Queensland because it's tropical. I'm from Sydney. which is still beaches and stuff. But up here, I'm going to the reef. Not tomorrow, the day after, with my nieces, my sister, which should be fun. What's going on? What's going on? Do, 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 do. Are the animal encounters bad, or is it a bit... I think you will see a lot of animals which you would just never see, and they're going to be big, but I'm just used to them. So when I was younger, there was a funnel web on my head, like with that spider that kills you. That's like my biggest encounter. I've used to tread on stingrays all the time down the front of my house. I lived on the water. Never seen a shark. Had jellyfish trapped down my swimming costume, scarred me. I had to go on all these steroids. That was horrible. But we do, I've seen snakes like in the bush and stuff, but not seen blue-ringed octopuses, like a whole lot of stuff, but they're just, they don't want to be bothered. The only one, like, so in the bathroom, funnel web spiders don't make webs, they funnel. And towels are hung over the towel rack, and they get in and funnel in there. And I put one on my body, like wipe my body dry, but then I threw one on my head and wrapped my hair up. And then when I put the hair one, lucky I didn't put the one on my body, put it on the bed, and there was a massive funnel web. And I'm like, ah! That's like that near-death experience, which when I was like 17, I thought was pretty big, but little did I know what was to come. The only thing I'd be afraid of in Australia is those huge spiders you guys have. So the tarantulas are massive, but they don't bite, like massive. Like they're everywhere. You're gonna see one of those. I don't see them as much anymore growing up, but then the houses were different back then. They were more wood. My sister's had a goanna in her room, like a massive lizard. They're so cool. They're so cool. You lived in Texas. I got to live in Melbourne for a month during year 9. Ah! It's like swap. What did you eat for 3 months? What do you mean for 3 months? Did I miss something? Maybe clarify. I love your channel. You're so nice. I subbed. Ah, thank you. I once had a beer. Do they comment to see? They kind of are trending at the moment. I've heard you guys have to check the toilet bowls, laundry machines for spiders. Yeah, so the spiders, especially those funnel webs, they funnel into the dryers. It's not as common anymore though, because the houses are not built. When I was younger, it was like really common. Though I sometimes in the night, I don't think about it often, then randomly I'll think, oh God, like I would hate a snake to get in the toilet. That would freak me out. Like really freak me out. I'm slaying. I like that. I'll tell my nieces that. I hope I influence people to try fresh coconut water and then tell me it's not the best thing they've ever had. We should all hang out at night. I don't know what time it is for everyone else, but for me, it's coconut water at night. They do match my nails. My toes are the same color. They're twinning. Yes, you'll have to come to Sydney. My channel is about how I was sick for 32 years of my life, and I had over 60 surgeries, 7 major organs removed, and the food saved my life. So I do podcasts with other people that raw food has saved their life. I do lots of recipes. I do inspirational reels. I do parties, raw food parties, where we all bring like raw food and talk. Anything to promote like health, self-love, and raw food, plant-based food, helping people. If you weren't for the spiders, I'd seriously move to Australia. People really freaked out. I've had people send me pictures of a snake, a crocodile eating a shark, which happens. Like the crazy stuff goes on. I'm in Sydney, but at the moment I'm in Queensland. So yeah, I love Queensland. Queensland's good for my winter. Like, it's just warm. We don't even have that bad a winter. When I speak to people in Canada, oh my God. One of my friends sent me a photo of an iceberg floating past her house with a moose or a deer or something. I'm like, what? I'm like, you guys think Australia is different? Like, who has icebergs floating past their house? I didn't know that was a thing. Opinions on a carnivore diet. So I think one thing that's probably not talked about enough about a carnivore diet versus well, it depends what kind, but different iterations of the carnivore diet. But I was thinking like just eating one type of meat. We're only getting one type of nutrient. Like, it's so inflammatory. When you eat meat, the body has to heat up, become acidic, and create leukocytosis, more white blood cells, to break it down. It takes hours to break down meat. It takes like anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour to get rid of plant-based food, 2 hours if it's vegetables. It just doesn't make sense. It's just so, when I had meat in my diet, I just never got well. And then I ate, well, even vegan food, I didn't get well. Cooked. You change the structure of what it is. And like, is anyone actually attracted to meat? Like, I look at plants and I'm like, whoa, yum, look at that. It excites me, and then I feel excited, and I get like my nails and this, it just excites me. And then when I think of that, like, even the times growing up, it's like, I don't want to cut it. I don't want to go. What little kid wants to go into a butcher? I have butcher traumas. So when I was little, my mum wouldn't even take me in till I think I was like 6 or 7. And then when I did, they give you this dirty like hot dog. Oh no, I'm going off here, but I think it's just too inflammatory for the body. Our teeth are like monkeys and chimps, like greens and nuts and seeds. Is it expensive in Australia? So yes, Australia was at one stage, I don't know if it's now, I think it was like 4th in the world most expensive for how much you earn to how much housing and living costs are. But if you're coming from America, you're going to double your money. Like, the dollar is so weak. So it depends where you're coming from. It might be like, woohoo, I'll get 50 coconuts. Don't listen to this witch. Well, then move on. Move on. There's plenty of lives for you to watch. Is it true everything is big in Australia? Like, everything that I see, and I think they're always deadly. Everything in Australia is always deadly. I don't know why. So if I look at people who healed cancer, I don't see anyone cooking steak. That's my thing. And they may do it differently. Some of them water fast, some of them do vegetable juices, some of them do sprouts, some of them do just fruit, some of them it's fruit juices. But I ain't seeing anybody eat just meat and the cancer in their body goes. And when I ate meat, I just got sicker. I couldn't even stand up. When I ate cooked food, and I think that speaks volumes as to what the human body will do. But I'm not here to talk anybody into it. I just share what I've learnt. I'm not here to go, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. I did well on paleo, not like this well. It's like being electrically plugged in. And I've never got that on another diet. Like, being on raw foods is like electrically plugged into the universe. Yeah. We have canines. But you do know that, I'm going back here, but you do know that carnivores don't eat the meat. They eat the blood-rich organs. That's why other animals are left on the ground. All the meat's left. All like the liver and and they rip it out and eat it. Who's doing that? I'll go to a tree and pull off an avocado or a peach and eat it. Just like natural. But no one's going out and sticking their teeth. Your teeth are flat into an animal and pulling out their blood-rich organs. We're eating something that no carnivores eat. Carnivores don't even eat the flesh. So that doesn't even make sense. Like everything that I look at, and then you eat the fruit, right, on a tree, and you swallow some seeds, and then you just poop on the ground and the seeds come out, and then the plant grows. Like, and I don't even eat just fruit, but I believe we were designed to eat fruit. I believe we have to take us a couple of steps back. We don't want to go too far back. I just don't see a baby around a rabbit gnawing it for its liver. If you put an apple and a bunny in a room, the kid will play with a bunny. Instinctually, it'll eat the apple. Whereas you do that to a carnivore baby, you won't get the same response. You'll get them killing the bunny. So that's like my biggest argument, just kind of like common, normal things. Everything in Australia is big and deadly. It should be the tourism line. But we're trying to get people in. We're not trying to give people heart attacks. No one is saying just eat meat. But when I had it in my diet, it didn't work for me. That's like the thing that's there. But if you want to eat meat, I'm not here to tell you not to. That's not my job. I'm just saying I'm all shiny and bright and look young. Get people say that I look like bright, and that didn't happen until I ate, well, raw foods really. It like electrified me and made me feel amazing. My mum and dad met and got married in Australia. I moved to California. That sounds like a dream. I'm about to go, I think I said this last live, I'm about to go to New York, North Carolina, Florida, LA. I'm so excited. I can respect that, but other people always build weird narratives these days. It's really bizarre. I'm not sure what that was about. I am a health coach. My profession is a health coach. What's the context here promoting? No, I'm not promoting anything but self-love, looking after yourself, doing things that make you feel good. And what we were talking about earlier is anything that you've learned, even if it seems like counterproductive or negative, find a way to use it as a tool in your life. That can be to help somebody else or not. So that's, I'm not selling anything. I'm not, I used to eat some seriously gross animal products as a kid. Thankfully, I've been vegan since 2019. Congratulations, Tessa. I've been vegan since 2019. We're twins. I've been raw vegan since 2021, but vegan since the end of 2018, so the start of 2019. A kid will eat a rabbit. No, a kid doesn't eat a rabbit. A little baby, little toddler in a room who gets hungry. Did you know Rio Ripley? No. I'm from, hi Africa. I don't eat meat, I only eat plants. A lot of fruits and vegetables aren't recognizable compared to their ancestors. True. Most fruit and vegetables consumed have been cultivated by human agriculture for the last 10,000 years. True. But they're still the closest thing. They're actually nothing like, especially like fruits. If you look at fruits even 100 years ago, bananas were chock full of seeds. But still, they match our digestive system more than ripping an organ out of an animal. I don't know if anyone's evolved to that level. I don't think I know anyone. She's promoting doing whatever works for you. Yes, on your own. This is the biggest thing, is you can't, everyone has got to experience life. And there's no point living your life trying to convince someone and having an argument about something which isn't going to change anything. No one changes their diet out of an argument. People will change it accumulatively, learning things over time and feel pulled to it, try something, see if it works, try something else. And so there's no point going, you need to do this. And to be honest, as a health coach, anytime I've got clients to work with me based on feeling like I've worked with a business coach and they're like, you know, use this angle, I just find that they're not in it. Like, so what's the point? I may as well just share. And I don't want to do that either. I just want people who want to look after themselves, and I just share knowledge. And if people want, what I do is in the description. I have mast cell activation syndrome is like the major thing I'm working on at the moment. What I eat in a day to help that is in there as well. But if people want support, extra support, that's where I'm always here. And that's kind of how I work. A lot of people, I just don't think you can force people into doing things. They've got to work it out themselves. So I'm not a vegan, but I'm a gym rat. And I'm about self-love. That's first and foremost. I think someone's going to get a lot further in their life, no matter what, if they sit in self-love. Do you have an easy day upbringing? Have you had an easy, do you mean my life? Do you mean like the 32 years of sickness and the 60 surgeries and the 7 organs missing? Nope. Yes, we're twins, Tessa. If that's what you're asking. You're a crazy person. A kid will get hungry and eat a rabbit. I don't think they're going to eat a cooked, a living rabbit. So, thanks, Tessa. But you know what? I don't understand, like, out of all the things that someone can talk on, like someone can come in here and say, you know, today I bought a hat, or today I went to work, or I'm just eating, or, you know, I like skipping. But when people come online and they find something and they want to like get in an argument, I guess it's like life, right? And I guess I have to also think about myself is when I've been in like my worst situations is my mood could take over. I don't really get that anymore. Where you're like, you project, because like in a day, so many positive things can happen that you can share with people. And I just think like you don't, you know, and you can shift your energy too. So you know, if you're in a bad way, is sit in a space of people laughing and like sharing good thoughts and try and say something there. Don't be like constantly digging down as to what can create a negative response. It's like getting on, so like I'm a vegan, right? And I don't even bring it up a lot on this channel because I'm all about like self-love and finding your journey. I wasn't always a vegan, right? I think it's a journey of self-discovery. But let's like me getting on a carnivore site and going, no, we're supposed to eat vegetables. We're supposed to eat vegetables. It's like, I'm asking for negativity. Like that's like one of those things that but I have to have compassion because I guess I've been through periods where I was not seeing the best in myself and then you project it. So, hi. I'm 44. Oh, you're seriously beautiful. You look fit and healthy. 2 honestly goals. Well, that's great. That's what I want to motivate people to do, be fit and healthy. They have to know they're going to convince you to eat meat no more than you'll probably convince the child to eat raw. Well, that's exactly right. I don't even think someone should just go and eat raw. I'm here to just, when people see me, they're like, well, you look healthy. What are you doing? So, all right, guys. I think that's enough for tonight. I think I've been on this live a long time. We'll have to save it for coconut waters tomorrow night. I have to think of a topic. Usually they come to me like during the day. I hope everyone has a good day or wherever they are. It's going to be my nighttime. What is my nighttime? As we know, the lights went out. When the lights go out. Anyway, I will turn the lights out now. Yeah, yes. Thanks for joining, Party Boy. Thanks for joining, everyone. Thank you, Tessa, for moderating, you legend. Yes, I hope everyone has a good day. I hope you've liked and subscribed so that I can see you guys again. And yeah, when the lights go out. Bye, guys.